Hey everyone, I need to tell you about something that GA4 does, and it's costing you credibility in client meetings. Before I put together any GA4 workshop, I ask everyone a series of questions including, what part of GA4 do you not trust and why? Recently a CMO replied, what's this unassigned channel or traffic reports? What does unassigned mean? If that sounds familiar, you might have spent 15 minutes of a client meeting or a stakeholder meeting explaining why GA4 calls legitimate traffic unassigned. This video will help you fix that problem forever. I'm Dana DiTommaso, and for over 25 years I've been helping marketing teams make sense of their analytics. Today I'll show you how to stop defending Google's confusing terminology and start controlling your own analytics narrative. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to rename GA4's most confusing channels so your reports tell a clear story instead of creating more questions. Here's what's actually happening in your reports. GA4's unassigned traffic averages less than 5% across most websites, but it could be much higher if you have a poor link tagging strategy. Even if it's still less than 5% for you, you might think that's nothing, but it sticks out like a sore thumb and it isn't something that stakeholders will ignore. The traffic comes from two main sources. First, what I call tab collectors. People leave your website open in browser tabs for extended periods. When someone returns that tab hours or days later and triggers an event like scrolling, their original session is timed out. GA4 can't originally determine how they arrive, so it records the source medium as not set and then dumps that into unassigned. The second source is poorly tagged traffic. Campaigns where GA4 doesn't understand which channel to put the traffic into. What happens is that we're letting Google's engineer speak derail our business conversations. Instead of discussing performance, we're explaining why GA4 names things the way it does. I was recently working with an e-commerce client who had an 8% unassigned traffic. Instead of discussing their successful email campaigns and improved organic performance, stakeholder meetings would start with the marketing team explaining GA4's session timeout behavior. That's meeting time wasted on Google's terminology choices instead of business insights. But you might think, let's just extend the session timeout. GA4's default is 30 minutes, so you can go up to 7 hours and 55 minutes. But even with the maximum timeout set, you'll still have people who leave tabs open for days or weeks. Let me ask you, how many tabs do you have open right now? Instead of trying to change how people use the internet, you can change how GA4 records normal human behavior. I'll walk you through exactly how to create custom channel groups that solves this communication problem. Here we are in the admin section of GA4, and then we're going to scroll down and go to data display, and then we're going to click on channel groups. Then we're going to click on create new channel group here, and we're going to name it custom channel group. You can, of course, name this whatever you want, name it something unique for you, but right now we're going to call it custom channel group. First, we'll create another channel for legitimate traffic that doesn't fit GA4 standard categories. We're going to click add new channel. We'll name it other. Now let's click on add condition group. And then from the dropdown, we're going to select source. For the condition, we'll choose matches regex, and then we'll enter /S+ in the box. This means that any traffic source at all which contains something like a letter or a number, which includes most legitimate sources but excludes not set, because that's just the absence of useful information. Before we're done here, we'll click or, and then we'll do exactly the same thing for medium. Matches regex. /S+, click apply, and then click on save channel. Now for our last piece, we're going to create the tab collectors channel. We're going to click add new channel. We're going to name it tab collectors. You can of course name it whatever you want. We were debating tab curators, extended sessions, whatever makes the most sense for you. Then we're going to click add condition group, and then for the source, we'll choose matches regex, and then we'll put $* into the box. What this means is anything at all. Because this channel will be last in the list after the other in the processing order, it will only capture traffic that wasn't caught in the previous channels, which is that not set traffic that we're targeting. We'll click apply, then save the channel, and then when I scroll on down, you can see the order is other than tab collectors. It's really important if you add more channels in the future to always have this one be second last and this one be last. This is important because GA4 processes channels in order from top to bottom. If you do need to move these around, you can scroll up, click the reorder function, and then drag around the channels as you need. Now I'm looking at our traffic acquisition report, and you can see we've got our custom channel group selected, and you can see we have tab collectors as well as others showing up. If you want to double check what's showing up in these channels, you can always click the plus symbol here, and then look at source medium. I've added session source medium, and then you can see tab collectors is not set, others this weird null channel, etc. And that way I'm tidying up my channels to make something that makes a lot more sense. One important note about governance: limit custom channel group editing to someone who understands the implications of these changes. Create documentation explaining each custom channel's purpose, and make sure everyone who presents data understands these new channel meanings. Custom channel groupings require ongoing attention as your traffic sources evolve. Make sure to review monthly to check if new traffic sources are falling into unexpected channels, and double check that channel order when you're adding those new channels. Once you've published your custom channel group, your next traffic acquisition report will tell a much clearer story. No more awkward explanations about Google's naming choices, just clean, professional data that helps stakeholders make decisions. Remember, you control how your data story gets told. Don't let GA4's confusing defaults undermine your professional presentations. I'd love to hear about your experience implementing this. What did you name your channels? How did your stakeholders respond? And if you found this helpful, make sure to subscribe on YouTube and click that notification bell. I regularly post new GA4 tutorials that help you present more professional analytics. If you want the complete step-by-step guide with screenshots and troubleshooting tips, I've linked to the full blog post in the description below.